This is a covalent bond between non-metal atoms. Each one needs an electron to have a full outer shell. Right here I'ma show you one. Overlap and then we're on. Draw an X and O to know where each one's from. Now count the full outer shells. XO, 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 XO. That's how we draw out electrons. XO, 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 XO. That's how we draw out electrons. XO, 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 XO. That's how we draw out electrons. Draw an X and O to know where each one's from. Now count the full outer shells. This is the heart. Let's dive right in, I'll tear it apart. 4 chambers, let's look at them all. Quatriums and 2 ventricles. Left side big and right side is small. Count with me 4 blood vessels. Let me explain to you how this works. Blood without O2 enters first into the right through the vena cava. Then it goes, hey, you see this atria? Now to the ventricle sharply. Needs to get out the pulmonary artery. From there it goes to the lungs. It's got O2, so blood takes some. Now back to the heart again. This time through the pulmonary vein. Now the left side pumps way stronger and sends to the body out the aorta. I'ma teach you states of matter while trying to be the greatest rapper. There's solid, liquid and gas. All 3 states are made up of mass. All 3 states are made up of atoms. There'll be things you can't even fathom. Solids first, I'll show you their pattern. Half shapes, I'll show how it happens. Set arranged in layers and rows. They vibrate but bet they can't flow. Call it strange, their energy's low. With heat exchange they start to move slow. Now it's liquid here, I can show. Seats absorb, their energy grows. They still touch although not in rows. Now I can slide above and below. We're not done, now there's more to know. With more energy atoms can go away from each other, no longer touching. Move so quickly it's like they're rushing. That's the last thing I'm going to serve. What's taking place in this heating curve. It's right here that the temperature rises. But this place here it is preserved. Yeah, we looking at the lungs, baby. They're for gas exchange. This is the trachea right here. It takes in oxygen down into the bronchi. It moves in, fills up alveoli. Diffusion. We use both these for taking a breath. Oxygen in and I say this with chest. Carbon dioxide required to leave. I can explain to you now how we breathe. Air goes down into the windpipe or the trachea if saying it right. At this point here we can see that it splits. We call the bronchi, now it's in 2 bits. Raising the surface area is the goal, so they know to branch into bronchioles. Ending with these, numbers are high. Remember the name, they're the alveoli. Take a look and I will explain. This is the site of gas exchange. Oxygen goes through these membranes. Flows down from high to low concentration. Into the blood it's gone. We call that process diffusion. Then by the cells oxygen's consumed. We call that one respiration. This is a wave, it oscillates. That just means it vibrates. Check its shape, amplitude is in its place, but wavelength goes this way. HC, that's the unit for frequency. Count the waves that past this point you can see per SCCs. This wave we call trans. Verse it goes up and down in my hands. One more wave's longitudinal. This goes side to side in this coil. Let's take a look at the science. Oscillation and direction. Compare how they are aligning. Transverse is not in alignment. You know this is a right angle. Cuts through the line like Play-Doh. Unlike longitudinal waves that are parallel. To understand plugs, this is required. This one is the fuse and these 3s, and here is the fuse. Without it there's fire. This is the plug, this is the plug, this is the plug. When on earth the gravity gives me a weight. Weight makes me accelerate down towards the street. But very soon, I will reach a constant speed. This is because their resistance matches gravity. We call this speed the terminal velocity. 9.8 meters per second squared on Earth. 24.8 on Jupiter is even worse. Acceleration due to gravity is g. Times by mass equals weight here as you can see. School biology, reproduction. There are 2 types, I'll show you their function. First one is of course sexual. Gametes combine to make the set full. How they combine, it's just meant to be. Chromosome number each 23. Those 2 sets they both auto mix. When they combine it makes 46. This process gives us variation, or we be a clone population. To make sperm and egg, here's the prognosis. The process name we call it meiosis. Moving on to asexual. The offspring come out identical. There's only one parent, you need to know this. The process here we call it mitosis. Each one has its own advantage. Asexual is simply the fastest. Sexual slow, but that don't make it worse, as the children come out way more diverse. Here's how electricity works. Let's start with a circuit first. The electrons flow from the power source, then through the wire they surge. As they pass through components, energy gets transferred. This bulb lights up in a moment. To understand you need to know 3 words. Now the first word's voltage, it's always misunderstood. It measures the push of electrons, higher volts then greater the push. The second word's current, so I tell you now and not later. It measures the flow of electrons, up the volts on which the amps get greater. The third word's resistance, it reduces electron flow. If you increase resistance, then lower the current will go. Now we can work out resistance, we just put this one in front. Resistance then equals the voltage divided by current.